Hey everybody, so welcome back to another video. This is a gore makeup, so it is warned and viewers discretion is advised. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this look today, which is sort of a can stuffed in the eye. And you can apply this technique to any part of the body with any object, but we just chose a Coke can and the eye to experiment a little bit. So to begin this whole look, you want to protect all the hairs around your eyes from latex, so mainly just the eyebrows, but if you really want to be careful around the hairline and the eyelashes as well, because latex will tend to rip out any hairs that don't have a greasy surface. We're just going to sort of cut and shape the Coke can to make sure it fits the eye comfortably before really adhering it down. So once you have the Coke can cut down to size, I just took a nude lip pencil to outline the circles so we have a rough idea of where to apply the next step, which is cotton and latex. So to apply our first layer of latex, I just took a disposable makeup sponge, because latex will ruin your brushes as it will not budge to come out once it's dry. So applying quite a generous first layer before applying the cotton. So I just unrolled the balls of cotton and sort of ripped them out a little bit thinner before applying them in a circle, making sure that it's really glued down properly before saturating it. Saturating it will just make it really malleable, soft, so it's easier to blend. So as you saturate it, we're also focusing to blend the cotton and latex into the skin for smooth as of a transition as possible. I soon do ditch the sponge because the sponge tends to stick to the cotton, makes it really hard to sort of move around. It doesn't really cooperate, so I end up just using my fingers to apply the latex. It's also an easier blend as well, because you really want to make sure that the latex is completely blended before it dries, so you're going to have a really hard time trying to do that once it is completely solid. So whilst the latex is still dry, you want to position the Coke can on top of it, really sticking it in, because that's going to be your base layer as an adhesive. As our second and initial layer of an adhesive, we're going to go ahead with the second layer of liquid latex and cotton. So we're going to repeat the steps that we did for the first one, but this time on top of the can, and once it dries it'll be a really good hold for the can, making sure it doesn't slip away or anything like that whilst you are wearing it. So I do end up switching to a palette knife to start blending it in, because the warmth of my fingers was just catching onto the latex and wasn't blending in properly. So using the palette knife or the spatula, I was able to apply a lot more pressure onto the latex to create a bit more of a noticeable blend and a bit more of a natural blend as well. So latex does take quite a hell of a time to dry, so we did just whip out a hairdryer to fasten up the drying process, especially because we have so many layers on top. So now we're on to our third layer of latex. This last layer of latex will sort of help blend everything together, so applying just this with my fingers, apply this all over the place where I already had latex and cotton, and also extending this out onto the skin, because this will really fade it out with a really thin edge for a bit more of a not noticeable transition. To start color matching your skin to the cotton and latex, I just took her regular foundation and sort of just dabbed this on and applied it all on. Initially I thought this would work and sort of cover up the whiteness, but because the cotton and latex was so bright and white, the foundation turned out a lot lighter than it usually would be. So I did end up just feathering it out and blending it in, but I do go in with a darker concealer all over the top of the white and bright latex, and after doing this it did really blend out properly and sort of brought out the natural skin tone of Courtney's face. Here I do take a sort of maroon coloured grease paint and sort of apply this all over the wound area, but then looking back, this layer really isn't too noticeable because after all the blood you could definitely not see this layer, but sometimes the blood doesn't sit on the latex too well, it sort of beats up. So I did just apply this layer just in case, because the foundation could have beat up the blood and it would have sort of just spread out and the underneath would have shown. So my gore look is definitely never ever complete without fake blood. So this is part where everything sort of comes together. So while stripping the blood onto the wound, I then do take my finger to sort of dab this all out, and this is your initial layer of blood, you know, to spread out the colour and everything. After dabbing it all around, I sort of add some natural drips and natural sort of sputters, just to sort of make the blood look as natural as possible. I'm going to apply a little bit of scab blood, which is sort of like a thickened, coagulated blood, like clotted scab wet blood onto some areas, and this just sort of creates a little bit of a meaty texture. And then as you can see, I did dab the blood out a lot throughout the face, onto the can a little bit, and then adding some natural drips down the bottom. So if you are going to add natural drips, and make sure you know you're wearing something you don't really mind getting all this blood on, because you never know, your blood might never come out of your clothing. But yeah, you can apply blood however you like, and if you enjoy this video then please give it a thumbs up and everything, like and subscribe, and thank you very much.